lot of changes have been made in the NXL in the off season, Don. Like a lot of changes. Roster moves as usual, you know how it is. But what do you think was the biggest change in NXL this season, and what do you think is gonna be the outcome of it?
Okay, so I think the biggest change has been on the pro side where they limited the paint. So I think they're only doing 5 pods. Is that right?
Yep, yep,
Yeah,
yep.
so that's exciting. So I think it does a couple things. And I think it opens them up to certain venues where previously I'm not an insider, so this is an outsider's point of view.
Hmm.
So sometimes the concern might have been, the paint's going to make a mess of the facility, and so that's why they may not have been able to get into a certain type of facility. So I think it's going to open them up to more I assume more arena type
Hmm.
locations.
Like,
That's
like
exciting
Tampa.
because like Tampa, exactly. And you're going to have the games are all going to be, I assume, fast paced, which is going to be a lot of action. So that's going to be really exciting.
Do you think that really changes the landscape for a lot of teams not being able to just sit there and lane 10, 12 pods? Now you're limited to five.
I think the top is going to stay the top. I think that they'll adjust, there were teams that were synonymous with sitting and playing a slow pace.
Hmm.
I think they've acquired some speed, so they're going to be able to move no matter what. They're good enough to switch it up and adjust. The top five is still going to be the top five, I think,
So
on the pro side.
how would you feel if they passed that 5 pound limit down to the lower division?
I would love it personally because I love to play fast and stupid. I love to go, man. I just love running up the field and taking 2 bodies. Boom, right in the first 30 seconds. I love doing that right off the
Right,
bat.
right off the gut. I like
So
that.
I
I
would be
like
go.
that. I
I'll
like
be.
that. I like that. All right. So hope maybe this is maybe this is their way of testing it out. Or maybe we'll see it in the lower divisions. I remember because they did have it back in the days. They called it I think it was D500. They called it back in the day, where they had that limitation with the pod. So we'll see.
Mhm.
And you know what? Paintballs is still expensive as heck,
Yeah.
man. So anything you can do with a 5 pod limit that's going to severely affect the paint budget.
That's the barrier. That's the barrier. That's why it's hard for people to get into it. The markers are expensive. The paint is expensive. Even to play rec ball is expensive. Rec ball, it's expensive in New York because everything's expensive in New York. It's just an expensive state. So it's rough. It's hard. But that's one of the things paintball is up against. I hope they can figure it out. I'd love to see the sport grow.